Maid's daughter sent a wrong text asking for formula. The reply went viral. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It's quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's dive into today's story. In a luxurious mansion on the outskirts of the city, the grand chandeliers cast shimmering reflections off polished marble floors. The air smelled faintly of expensive perfume and freshly cut flowers, a sharp contrast to the hum of ordinary life just outside the gates. This mansion was home to the wealthy Hale family. Their world was one of privilege and power, where every day was a showcase of wealth and status. Yet, there was one person who truly had no place in this world of grandeur. 12-year-old Lily, the daughter of their housekeeper. Lily lived in a small room in the back of the house, hidden away from the lavish lifestyle of the Hales. She wasn't supposed to be seen, much less heard. Her mother, Sarah, worked tirelessly, cleaning the sprawling estate from dawn till dusk. But despite their hard work, Lily knew that their place was always at the bottom. One afternoon, as Lily was playing quietly in the corner of the kitchen, her mother rushed in with a look of worry on her face. "Lily, can you do me a favor?" she asked, a little out of breath. "Please send a text to Mrs. Hale. I forgot to ask her to pick up some formula for you from the store." Lily, always obedient, nodded without hesitation. But in her hurry to help her mother, something unexpected happened. Instead of sending a text to Mrs. Hale, she accidentally sent it to a stranger, a number she had never seen before. The message was simple, asking if they could pick up some baby formula. It was a mistake, but Lily didn't think much of it. She simply put down her phone and went back to her drawing. However, within minutes, her phone buzzed with a reply. When she saw the message, her heart skipped a beat. It read, "Are you serious? I'm not in the business of giving away formula to strangers." It was harsh, cold, and Lily felt a flush of embarrassment. She knew she had messed up, but what happened next completely stunned her. The stranger continued, "I'm a busy person, but since you clearly need help, I'll send some formula. But let me tell you something. You need to get your act together." Lily's first instinct was to apologize, but before she could even think of a reply, the message had already gone viral. Within hours, the exchange had been shared on social media, gaining traction among the online community. People were astonished by the audacity of the stranger's response and, at the same time, sympathetic to Lily's situation. News outlets picked up the story, and the viral nature of the text exchange grew. The stranger, who turned out to be none other than a famous tech billionaire, was shocked to see the backlash. What began as a casual message had spiraled into a public spectacle, and now Lily's mistake had put her into the spotlight in a way she never expected. Her accidental text asking for formula had led to a moment of recognition, one that no one, especially the Hale family, had seen coming. The billionaire who had initially mocked her for her incompetence was left speechless, his reputation tarnished. And as for Lily, her mother's pride in her daughter grew, as she realized that sometimes the smallest actions can have the biggest impacts. I'm sure you're wondering what happened next after Lily's accidental text went viral. Well, the storm that followed was just the beginning. In the days after the incident, Lily couldn't understand why so many people were talking about her message. Her phone buzzed constantly with notifications. Her classmates at school whispered when she walked by, and even strangers on the street recognized her. It felt like the whole world was watching her, and she wasn't sure if she should be happy or embarrassed. Meanwhile, the billionaire who had initially mocked her was scrambling to repair his image. His team of public relations experts worked overtime to minimize the damage. The story had taken on a life of its own, and now, the billionaire's words and actions were under intense scrutiny. The public was divided, with some supporting Lily and others criticizing her for accidentally causing such a stir. The Hale family, on the other hand, was not pleased with the attention this incident had brought. Mrs. Hale, in particular, was furious. She felt her family's privacy had been invaded and that Lily's mistake had embarrassed them in front of the entire community. However, there was more to this story than anyone knew. As the pressure mounted, the billionaire realized that the viral text had not only damaged his reputation, but also opened his eyes to something important. He had become so detached from the struggles of ordinary people that he had failed to recognize the significance of his own actions. The reality was that Lily's request for formula had exposed the vast divide between the haves and the have-nots. It made him reflect on his own life and the choices he had made. That was when he decided to take action. He reached out to Lily's family, hoping to make things right. He invited Lily and her mother, Sarah, to his office for a meeting. Nervous but intrigued, Lily and Sarah agreed. The office, located in a high-rise building overlooking the city, was a stark contrast to their humble apartment. As they walked into the sleek, glass-paneled lobby, Lily felt out of place. But Sarah, ever composed, reminded her to keep her head high. When they were finally seated in the billionaire's office, he apologized for his previous harsh words. He acknowledged how wrong he had been and expressed his admiration for Lily's courage. He told them that he wanted to help. At first, Sarah was cautious. She didn't trust this man who had once mocked them. But as he continued speaking, something changed. He wasn't offering money or charity. He was offering a chance for Lily to receive an education and mentorship. He explained that he had established a foundation to support talented young people from underprivileged backgrounds, and he wanted Lily to be part of it. The foundation would provide her with the resources and opportunities she had never dreamed of. The decision wasn't easy, but Sarah knew this could be a turning point for their family. After a long pause, she agreed. Over the next few months, Lily's life transformed. With the support of the Billionaire's Foundation, she enrolled in a prestigious school where she was surrounded by other gifted students. She excelled in her studies, and her self-confidence grew. The once shy girl, who had been invisible in the mansion's vast halls, was now thriving. She began to realize that her worth was not defined by her circumstances, but by her potential. As for the billionaire, he kept his promise. He mentored Lily, guiding her through the complexities of the world she was now entering. And for the first time, he truly understood the power of giving someone a chance, of believing in their abilities, and of breaking down the barriers that divide us. Lily's mistake had led to a moment of redemption for both her and the billionaire, proving that sometimes the most unexpected actions can bring about the greatest changes. I am sure you are eager to hear what happens next in Lily's extraordinary journey. After she accepted the billionaire's offer, her life began to change in ways she never imagined. The first few weeks at the new school were a whirlwind. Lily, once shy and self-conscious, was now surrounded by some of the brightest young minds in the country. The school was everything she had dreamed of and more. The halls were filled with students discussing complex ideas and groundbreaking projects. There was a sense of excitement and energy that made Lily feel both nervous and inspired. She struggled at first, especially in her advanced math and science classes, but something inside her had shifted. For the first time, she believed she could do this. With the mentorship and resources provided by the Billionaire's Foundation, Lily had access to tutors, study materials, and even extracurricular programs that she never thought possible. But the most significant change was how she began to see herself. She wasn't just the maid's daughter anymore. She was Lily, a talented and capable student with a future filled with endless possibilities. The billionaire, Mr. Hale, remained a constant presence in her life. He checked in on her progress regularly and offered guidance when needed. His generosity had extended beyond just financial support. He had become a mentor, someone who believed in her potential and pushed her to reach higher. One day, while they were having lunch in his office, Mr. Hale looked at Lily with a proud smile. "You've come a long way, Lily," he said. "I knew from the moment I met you that you had something special. Keep pushing yourself. The world is waiting for you to show what you're capable of." His words filled her with determination. She wanted to prove him right. As the months went by, Lily's confidence continued to grow. She became involved in the school's robotics team, where she discovered a passion for engineering. Her team even won a national competition, and Lily was recognized for her innovative ideas. But with every new success, she never forgot where she came from. Her mother, Sarah, had been her rock throughout the entire journey. Sarah was still working for the Hales, but her attitude had shifted as well. She no longer felt invisible in the mansion. She was respected by the family and even invited to social events. The transformation in their lives was profound. One evening, as they sat together in their small apartment, Sarah looked at Lily with tears in her eyes. "I always knew you were meant for something great," she said. "I just didn't know how it would happen. But now I see it. You're going to change the world. Those words meant everything to Lily. They represented the culmination of everything she had worked for and the sacrifices her mother had made. But despite her growing success, Lily never let the fame or recognition get to her head. She stayed humble, always remembering the people who helped her along the way. She made a promise to herself that when she reached the top, she would give back and help others who were in the same position she once was. One day, as she walked across the stage to receive her high school diploma, Lily glanced over at her mother, who was seated in the front row. Sarah's face beamed with pride. In that moment, Lily knew that everything had been worth it. She had gone from being the invisible daughter of the housekeeper to becoming someone who could inspire others. And while her journey was far from over, she knew she had the tools and the mindset to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The young girl who had once made an innocent mistake by sending the wrong text had now become a symbol of resilience and hope for others who were fighting to change their own stories. I'm sure you're wondering how Lily's journey continued from that point. As she settled into her new life, a world of opportunities was unfolding before her. But with every step forward, the shadows of her past seemed to follow her, testing her newfound sense of worth. Although her academic life was flourishing, Lily knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. She had learned to embrace the challenges, but the world wasn't always kind to those who dared to dream beyond their circumstances. One day, while working late in the school's engineering lab, Lily received an unexpected message. It was from Mrs. Hale, the woman who had once made her feel invisible in the mansion. "Lily, can you come to the house? There's something we need to discuss," the message read. Despite everything that had happened, Lily was unsure how to feel. The Hales had been part of her past, but that life felt so distant now. However, curiosity got the better of her, and she agreed to meet. When she arrived at the mansion, she was greeted by Mrs. Hale, who had a somber look on her face. "Lily, I want to apologize for everything that happened before," Mrs. Hale said, her voice genuine. "I never understood your situation, and I was wrong to treat you the way I did. I've seen how far you've come, and I want to help." Lily was taken aback. She had never expected this kind of apology from Mrs. Hale, especially after everything that had happened. The woman who had once dismissed her was now standing before her, offering help. Mrs. Hale continued, "I've spoken to my husband, and we want to contribute to your future. We know you've been struggling to find resources for college, and we'd like to help you with that." It was an overwhelming offer, one that Lily wasn't sure how to process. Mrs. Hale wasn't offering charity, though. She was offering an opportunity, one that could change the course of Lily's life. "You've shown such resilience, and I believe in your potential," Mrs. Hale added. "This is the least we can do to make up for the past." At first, Lily hesitated. "It wasn't because you feel guilty. I want you to help because you believe in me, not out of obligation." Mrs. Hale nodded, a look of understanding crossing her face. "I believe in you, Lily," she said softly. "That's why I'm doing this." The moment was a turning point for Lily. It wasn't just about the help she was receiving. It was about the respect and recognition she was finally being given. For the first time, someone who had once looked down on her was now offering support, not out of pity, but out of genuine belief in her potential. The next few months were a blur of excitement and hard work. With the financial assistance from the Hales, Lily was able to apply to a prestigious engineering college. She poured herself into her studies, determined to make the most of this second chance. Her confidence grew, and with each passing day, she felt more and more like the person she had always known she could be. And when the acceptance letter finally arrived, Lily knew that her life was no longer defined by the mistakes of the past. It was shaped by the possibilities of the future, by the belief that no matter where you come from, you have the power to change your story. I know you must be wondering what happens next as Lily continues her path toward success. As she settled into her new life at college, her world was opening up in ways she couldn't have imagined before. The campus, filled with ambitious students from all walks of life, was a far cry from the mansion she had once worked in. Now, she was on equal footing with people who once seemed out of her reach. Lily threw herself into her studies, her mind sharpened by the challenges she had faced growing up. Engineering was no longer just a subject. It was her passion. Every project, every equation, every late-night study session was another step toward her future. Her grades soared, and her professors began to take notice. But despite all her academic achievements, there was something else that was changing within her. She was no longer the quiet, invisible girl. She was becoming a leader. Her peers admired her determination and resilience, and soon, she found herself leading group projects and mentoring other students. One afternoon, as she worked in the campus library, she received a message from Mrs. Hale. It had been a few months since their last meeting, and Lily had been focused on her studies, but the message brought a familiar sense of calm. "Lily, I'm so proud of you. I've been following your progress, and it's incredible to see how far you've come. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out," the message read. Lily smiled as she read it. She had never expected Mrs. Hale to become such a supportive figure in her life. The woman who had once looked down on her was now a source of encouragement, and Lily realized just how much that had meant to her. As the days passed, Lily's confidence continued to grow. She received an internship offer from a well-known engineering firm, a huge opportunity for someone just starting out in their career. But with every step forward, Lily knew the challenges weren't over. She had been given a chance, but it was up to her to prove that she was more than just the maid's daughter. One day, she found herself back in the mansion, though this time, it was not as a worker but as a guest. Mrs. Hale had invited her to a charity event being held in the grand ballroom. Lily had never imagined attending such an event as a guest, let alone as someone being recognized for her achievements. As she walked into the room, she couldn't help but feel a sense of disbelief. The same chandeliers that had once seemed so distant now felt like a symbol of everything she had accomplished. Mrs. Hale greeted her warmly, introducing her to influential guests and making sure she felt comfortable. It was a world she had never belonged to, but now, it was a world that was welcoming her with open arms. As the evening went on, Lily found herself speaking with a renowned engineer, someone whose work she had admired for years. They discussed future advancements in technology, and Lily realized how far she had come. The girl who had once been invisible, the girl who had once been defined by her circumstances, was now a person whose opinions mattered. When the event came to a close, Mrs. Hale pulled Lily aside. "You've truly exceeded all expectations," she said. "You've proven that no matter where you come from, you have the power to change your own destiny." Lily stood there, her heart full of gratitude. She had come a long way, but she knew her journey was just beginning. The road ahead was still filled with challenges, but for the first time, Lily truly believed she could overcome them. She had the education, the support, and most importantly, the belief in herself to make her dreams a reality. I know you're wondering how Lily's life continued to unfold after that monumental evening. As the months passed, Lily's transformation was nothing short of remarkable. She had not only adapted to the fast-paced world of academia and career opportunities, but she had also begun to carve out a path for herself in the field of engineering. It wasn't long before she was offered a full-time position at the same prestigious engineering firm that had given her the internship. The offer was a dream come true, and it was a testament to her hard work, dedication, and determination. But despite her growing success, Lily had never forgotten the humble beginnings that had shaped her. She often found herself reflecting on the long nights spent studying, the challenges she had faced, and the support she had received along the way. She knew she owed so much of her success to the people who had believed in her when she had no reason to believe in herself. Her mother, Sarah, was still working for the Hale family, but now her position was one of respect and recognition. Mrs. Hale, who had once dismissed Lily, had become one of her biggest advocates. She was always proud of Lily's accomplishments and often boasted about her progress to anyone who would listen. But the journey was far from over. Lily had achieved a lot, but there was always more to be done. She had set her sights on bigger goals, goals that would push her further than she had ever gone before. One afternoon, while she was at the office, her phone buzzed with a message from Mrs. Hale. It was an invitation to a gala hosted by the Hale family, an event where influential individuals from all over the world would gather. Lily had attended the event the previous year, but this time, it felt different. This time, she was no longer the maid's daughter trying to fit into a world that wasn't hers. She was someone of significance, someone who had earned her place. As Lily prepared for the gala, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. She had come a long way from the shy girl who had once been invisible in the grand halls of the mansion. The event was grander than she had imagined, with guests dressed in their finest, champagne flowing freely, and an air of sophistication that could be felt in every corner. As Lily walked into the ballroom, heads turned. For the first time, she felt like she belonged. Mrs. Hale greeted her warmly and introduced her to some of the most powerful people in the room. They all seemed to recognize the young woman who had once been part of the staff, but now, she was someone who commanded respect. The night passed in a blur of conversation and laughter, but the moment that stuck with Lily the most was when she was introduced to a well-known entrepreneur who had heard of her work. "I've been following your progress," he said. "You've done something remarkable. I'm impressed by how far you've come." Those words were the validation Lily had always longed for. The respect she had earned felt even more rewarding than the accolades or opportunities that had come her way. She wasn't just a success story. She was a force to be reckoned with. As the night came to a close, Lily looked around the room. She realized that everything she had worked for, everything she had fought for, had led her to this moment. The young girl who had once been invisible had now become a woman who was seen, heard, and respected. And as she left the gala that night, Lily knew that this was just the beginning. The future was waiting for her, and she was ready to take it on. I'm sure you're wondering how Lily's life has continued to evolve, as the challenges she faced were never truly behind her. After the gala, she felt like she had made it in some ways, but the road ahead still required determination. With her new position at the engineering firm and the opportunities unfolding before her, she was on a trajectory that many would envy. However, there was one thing that continued to weigh on her mind: the pressure to succeed, to prove that she belonged. As the months passed, Lily became more involved in the world of technology and innovation. She had always been passionate about solving problems, and now, she was using her skills to develop cutting-edge projects that could change the future. But despite her growing success, there were moments when she doubted herself. She often found herself thinking back to the times when she was the invisible maid's daughter, the girl who had no place in a world of wealth and power. But every time doubt crept in, she reminded herself of the strength she had found within her. Lily's mother, Sarah, had been her greatest support throughout her journey. Sarah had witnessed firsthand the struggles her daughter had overcome, and she continued to be a pillar of strength. One afternoon, as Lily sat at the kitchen table working on a new design, Sarah sat down beside her. "You're doing amazing things, Lily," she said, her voice full of pride. "I don't think you fully realize how much you've accomplished." Lily smiled, grateful for her mother's constant encouragement. But there was something else on her mind. "I don't know if I can keep this up, Mom," she confessed. "Every day feels like a new challenge, and I'm not sure I'm ready for all of it." Sarah reached out and gently took Lily's hand. "You've been ready since the day you took that first step. You've always had it in you. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. Don't ever forget that." Those words stuck with Lily. They gave her the courage to keep pushing forward, even when the pressure seemed too much. Around the same time, Lily received a call that would change everything. It was from a prestigious university in California, offering her a chance to join a groundbreaking research project in sustainable energy. This was the opportunity she had been waiting for, a chance to truly make an impact in the world. The catch was, it meant relocating across the country, away from everything she had known. The decision wasn't easy, but after much deliberation, Lily knew it was the right move. This was her chance to prove that she wasn't just a success story. She was capable of changing the world. When the time came to leave, Sarah was by her side once again. "I'm so proud of you, Lily. This is your moment. Take it." With those final words of encouragement, Lily boarded a flight to California, ready to face the next chapter of her life. The move was daunting, but Lily embraced the change. The university was everything she had hoped for: cutting-edge labs, brilliant minds, and a sense of belonging that had always eluded her. She worked harder than ever, diving into research that could revolutionize the way the world thought about energy. As Lily settled into her new life, she realized that all the doubts she had once held about her place in the world were fading. She wasn't just part of this world, she was shaping it. Her journey from the housekeeper's daughter to a trailblazer in the field of engineering was only just beginning. And as she looked out over the California skyline, Lily knew that no matter where life took her next, she had already proved to herself that she could achieve anything she set her mind to. I know you're eager to see how Lily's story continues, so let's jump right into it. After relocating to California, Lily's life was anything but ordinary. She found herself immersed in groundbreaking research that had the potential to reshape how energy was used across the globe. Every day was a new challenge, but Lily was no stranger to overcoming challenges. She had learned to face adversity head-on, from her early days as the maid's daughter to her rise as a leader in the field of engineering. The research project she was working on was ambitious. It focused on creating sustainable energy solutions using new materials that could revolutionize power sources. It was the kind of work that could change the world, and Lily was right in the middle of it, contributing ideas and solutions that exceeded everyone's expectations. As the months passed, Lily's expertise grew, and her reputation as a rising star in the field continued to spread. But with success came pressure. She was constantly surrounded by brilliant minds, and the stakes of the project were higher than ever. There were days when she doubted herself, when the weight of the responsibility seemed too much to bear. Yet, each time doubt crept in, she reminded herself of her journey. From the small, overlooked girl cleaning the halls of the Hale mansion to being a lead researcher on a major scientific project, she had made it this far because of her determination. One evening, after a long day at the lab, Lily received a call from her mother. Sarah's voice on the other end of the line was warm and comforting. "How's everything going, honey?" she asked. Lily smiled, grateful for the familiar voice. "It's going well, Mom. The project is moving along, and I'm learning so much. But there are days when I feel like I'm not enough, like I don't belong here." There was a pause on the other end of the line. Then Sarah spoke, her voice firm yet loving. "Lily, you belong exactly where you are. You've earned your place. Don't let anyone or anything make you feel otherwise. You've always had what it takes." Those words from her mother had a profound effect on Lily. She realized that the only person who could limit her was herself. With renewed confidence, she dove back into her work, pushing herself harder than ever. Her passion for sustainable energy and her drive to make a difference kept her going. But even as she worked tirelessly, Lily never forgot the people who had helped her along the way. She often thought about Mrs. Hale and the unexpected support she had received from the family. It was a reminder that sometimes, the people who once overlooked you could become your greatest allies. As Lily's research reached a breakthrough, she was invited to present her findings at a prestigious conference in New York. It was an incredible opportunity, but it was also a moment of validation. The girl who had once been dismissed was now standing in front of the world's leading scientists, sharing her ideas with them. The conference went better than Lily could have ever imagined. Her presentation was met with praise, and she was invited to collaborate with several influential figures in the industry. But the most rewarding part was knowing that her work had the potential to make a real, lasting impact. Lily knew that she was on the right path, and the future held even greater possibilities. Looking out over the New York skyline that evening, Lily reflected on everything she had achieved. She had come so far from the shy, invisible girl who had once been the maid's daughter. She had proven to herself, and to the world, that no matter where you start, you have the power to change your story. The journey wasn't over, but Lily was ready for whatever came next. She knew that with hard work, belief in herself, and the support of those who truly cared about her, there was nothing she couldn't achieve. I'm sure you've been waiting to see how Lily's incredible journey comes to a close. After her groundbreaking presentation in New York, everything began to fall into place. She had proven herself in the world of sustainable energy, but more importantly, she had found something that was even more valuable, her own sense of worth. Lily had been given a chance, and now she was using it to its fullest potential. The support she had received from her mother, from Mrs. Hale, and from all those who had believed in her was something that fueled her every move. But it wasn't just about proving herself anymore. It was about using her knowledge and influence to help others. As Lily advanced in her career, she made it a point to mentor younger students and aspiring engineers, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds like hers. She knew how hard it had been to find her place in a world that often seemed closed off to people like her. Lily wanted to change that, to ensure that others had the same opportunities that had been extended to her. She started an initiative, working alongside her colleagues, to offer scholarships to young students who showed promise in engineering and science, but lacked the financial means to pursue their dreams. It wasn't just about the money. It was about opening doors and providing the tools needed to succeed. As the years went by, Lily became a recognized leader in her field. She was invited to speak at conferences, She was featured in industry publications, and she continued to break barriers for women and minorities in engineering. But despite all the recognition, she remained humble. She knew that none of this would have been possible without the struggles, the mistakes, and the people who had been there along the way. One evening, as Lily walked down the streets of her new city, she thought back to the days when she had been just a young girl, working in the halls of the Hale mansion. She remembered the loneliness, the uncertainty, and the feeling of never being seen. And yet, here she was, walking in a city that represented everything she had worked for. The lights of the city seemed to shine brighter that night, and Lily couldn't help but smile. She had made it, but not in the way she had once imagined. Her success wasn't about wealth or fame. It was about knowing that she had earned her place in a world that had once seemed so distant. Lily's journey had been full of unexpected twists and turns, but each one had led her to the person she had always wanted to be. She had proven that no matter where you start, with determination and the right support, anything is possible. As she looked up at the stars above the city, Lily knew that this was only the beginning. She had found her voice, her purpose, and most importantly, her belief in herself. And with that, she knew there was nothing that could stop her from achieving even more.